Hey guys, welcome. Welcome, Jesse. So excited to be here with you today. This is so much fun. I'm excited to be here. I started off last night with a little thread talking about showing up because we had a topic recently because we're talking about engagement in my group. We're talking about marketing. Gosh, I've had this conversation like 3 or 4 times with people lately about showing up fully as yourself in your business.
Mhm. That is the most perfect topic. I love it. I love it because, uh, as you know, Haley, I wasn't showing up at all in my business or in my life. And just as recent as today, just to give an example, I love humor. I
Mm-hmm.
love laughing with myself and thus
Mm-hmm.
laughing with others, not with their
Mm-hmm.
face, but just having humor around the whole thing. And
Right.
as you know, I'm doing this interview series, and I have you as a speaker, and I have other speakers. And today I created a video, a reel, where I'm just saying, organizing an online series, it gets me tired. But I tagged all of you guys in there because other people might have said, oh my God, you're saying something negative about what you're organizing. But you know
Mm-hmm.
what? That's just my humor. I don't want to hide, and I don't want to not be authentic with who I am as a
Mm-hmm.
person, a business person, or just a person in general. And so I made fun of myself, a bit of you, not of with you guys, but I use you guys just as humor,
Mm-hmm.
but I still love you, you know?
Absolutely. Well, and you have to have and bring humor to the situation.
Yeah, because if you don't have fun, what's the point in doing all this?
Well, and if you don't laugh, you're gonna cry.
Yeah, and you don't want
Like seriously. I mean, okay, I had another client get mad, or I dealt with a client's website that got hacked, and we had to rebuild it from scratch because it was so badly corrupted. Y'all, careful with your website security, But, having a sense of humor, even with dealing with stuff,
to.
it could be all kinds of things, right? And that sense of humor, showing up fully as you are, having fun with it, even when it's really bad at times.
Mhm. Yeah, because it's not always pretty and it's not Instagram life. Real life is
Uh,
Instagram life.
yeah, my life doesn't usually resemble Instagram. In fact, I would dare say that my life is like the anti-Instagram. I've got 2 teenage boys. I have 4 kids total. 4. And 2 of them, my youngest 2, are 14 and 18-year-old boys. This is the anti-Instagram life. It is summer. My older son is taking online classes in college. It's all asynchronous. So he has decided that the best hours for him to study are midnight to 4 a.m. So he's usually going to bed like right about the time my husband is waking up in the morning. And my 14-year-old, of course, gets online and he's gaming. And a lot of nights he's up until dawn. I think he's up when my husband gets up because I'm a bit of a night owl. So I tend to sleep in the morning. And frequently somewhere between 11:45 and 2 a.m., the screaming starts. And of course, my husband's already in bed. And my youngest will pick a fight with his brother, and his brother will pick a fight back. And I have to have the reminder of no broken bones. Everybody still needs to be breathing when we're done, and I don't want to see any blood. And preferably no bruises, no permanent injuries. Because the other night I walk out of my office and I look up and one of them is dragging the other one by his feet down the hall. And I'm like, can we just please not leave any bodies? So when I say my life is not Instagram perfect, and I would say it's the anti-Instagram, it's absolutely the anti-Instagram. The inverse.
Well, how could we call it? Extragram.
Yeah, something. Oh, it's definitely something.
Yeah. But you know what? And that's okay. That's why I say, like, showing up, being authentic is also being there when we don't have makeup, when my hair is not done. Yes, I did my hair today, people. I did my hair. I'm proud of myself. Thank you. I'm saying thank you.
I rolled out of bed today. I have curly hair, y'all, so if I actually try to do anything with it, it doesn't. It turns it into like a poodle.
Yeah, I want to see you as a poodle.
Right? I'll just put my finger in the electrical socket over here, and then it'll be perfect.
I think you will look hot also when you
with a poodle look.
Yeah.
Well, and I do scrunch them up and I do things, but like the poodle, it will be like up here doing this.
Okay.
It'll be doing the true like Bichon frisé, like full on.
Excuse me, I'm Dior. You just say that.
People pay good money to have their hair do that I just don't. But yeah.
I love it. But yeah, going back to authenticity.
Hey Tish, yeah, authentic, yeah. So yeah, if you guys are wondering why my hair isn't done every day, because I can't wash it every day because it turns into.
When you see me with my hair up, which is most of the time, it's because I didn't wash my hair. That's it. Don't have time to wash my hair. Pooh, up.
Into a bun.
Yeah.
Up she goes.
And that's it.
Yeah, no, totally. And I mean, if that's the reality, we're working from home, sometimes not from home, sometimes we're going to clients, sometimes we're on Zoom calls all day. And it's a slog some days.
Mm-hmm. And what do you think of like showing up and engagement? Because people are quite afraid to engage with people in general. But then engaging as your authentic self, how do you deal with that?
So, I mean, I think that the reality is there's kind of two aspects of that, right? One is the content that you put out has to be authentically you. Trying to hide behind the professional image, it goes over like a lead balloon. I tried it when I first got into the online space. I have a ton of credentials. I have crazy amounts of education, lots of experience, and it didn't work because I wasn't showing up fully as me, as my imperfect, crazy ass self. So there's that's kind of one phase, right? Is what you're putting out there. And then the other is like actually like starting conversations with people, engaging with people. And I'm not talking about the start with somebody with the, hey, I've got the script that I'm following in order to make a sale.
Yeah. Like really engaging as you.
Yeah. Like I had a friend who texted me today and said, hey, do you want to, resume our meetings? Because normally we would go out and go walking. And I said, sure. What Zoom link would you like to use? Or which park would you like to meet at? Because we've basically been on Zoom for 15 months. And I mean, she was laughing at me. But you have to like fully show up as you are, both with your posting and with your commenting and with your engaging. And a lot of people are like, well, I'm online to make money.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you're online just to make money and you're online to make money fast, run ads. Don't bother trying to build engagement with people. Go get a really good copywriter, build your funnel, test it, spend about $20,000 to $30,000, run ads, you'll be done. You'll be making money. If that's what you're going to tell me, that's kind of going to be my response. Because people can smell being advertised to, being sold to a mile away. And it doesn't matter whether you're US based or European or whatever, they go running for the hills.
Exactly. And, you, from your marketing point of view, you have clients and they're not engaging. You're going organic. You're going the organic way, no ads.
Right.
And they tell you as a marketing expert, oh, but Haley, okay, I engaged. I said hi. They responded, but I don't know how to continue the conversation. What do you tell them as a marketing expert?
Yeah. So what I usually say is, somebody says hi, they say hi back. Well, usually if you're messaging somebody, there's some reason that you're messaging them. And hopefully it's not join my Facebook group or do my thing or whatever. You could be following up for a comment and saying, hey, I noticed that you were talking about such and such. Thank you for sharing, whatever. One of the best ways I find to really start conversations with people and have meaningful conversations is to really, really comment in depth on their posts. How many times do you see people that are like, oh yeah, well, I can help you with that. I'll message you.
I hate that. How many DMs do I get? Cold messages. Oh, hi, here, join my Facebook group. Oh, yeah, here. I'm a coach and I can get you to 6 figures. Oh, hi, blah, blah. Like,
yeah, okay, that's great. But do you actually know who you're messaging? I get a lot of people who cold message me and they're like, okay, do you want to buy my stuff? And I'm like, okay, do you want to buy a website? And I'm like, actually, no, I've got half a dozen website designers working for me. Hi, do you need a coach? I'd be happy to sell you my coaching services and show you how to actually leverage Facebook and get clients.
That's freaking annoying, and that's why I think a lot of business owners that really want to connect are afraid to connect because of all those cold emails, cold messages, and they're like, they're gonna think I'm a shark. They're gonna think I don't give a shit about who they are, but I truly want to connect, and then they prefer not to do it than to be rejected.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, and I mean, showing up and being real in your groups, being real on your, wall, actually having friend requests, thanking people for connecting. Those things are all really, really important. I mean, how would you walk up to a stranger at a party and start a conversation? I'm pretty sure you wouldn't just walk up and hand them a business card. Even if you're at a networking meeting, don't do that, please. There's much better ways to start conversations, talking about the weather, talking about whatever. Have a conversation. Ask me why my daughter wanted to have a pet mongoose the other night.
I love it. Haley, why?
Why? Because one of the residents in North Raleigh decided to take his zebra cobra out onto the front lawn and play with it. Because taking your pet zebra cobra out onto the front lawn and playing with it sounded like a really good idea. And oh, by the way, it got away. So it turned into a several-day hunt for a zebra cobra. And of course, my daughter Zena posts on her Facebook page saying, hey, y'all, I want a pet mongoose. And she looks at me the other night and says, hey, Mom, can I get a pet mongoose? And I'm like, I think if you can have a pet mongoose if you're going to take that back to your apartment with you in Cincinnati when you go back to school in August. And she's like, but I don't have any space for a pet mongoose. And I'm like, well, maybe no pet mongoose. Maybe you can talk to your dad about having a pet mongoose. And my husband said, hey, I think we need 2 pet mongooses. So that's why I posted on Facebook and I said, what is the plural of mongoose? And then my next question was, do mongooses make good pets?
Well, what was the average answer, please?
So we were talking about whether it's mongooses or mongoose. It's actually mongooses.
Okay.
And yes, they make just fine pets, but they're illegal to import into the continental United States.
So yeah, not very nice pets. Because
Not a proper pet.
yeah, you'll go to prison.
But Xena was like laying out all of the possibilities for, what happens with venomous snakes is apparently venomous snakes can mate with other venomous snakes. And I was like, oh, great. We can have water moccasin python hybrid babies.
You know what?
That sounds delightful.
You'd be freaking filthy rich on the black market. With that?
So that's why my daughter wanted to know if she could have a pet mongoose. And they caught it. They did catch it, but apparently they used a glue trap.
So what?
They caught the snake.
But no skin? A glue trap. Does that mean that the skin came off?
No, the glue trap is like the mouse traps that have glue in them, the pan of glue. So they apparently use that to like get it to stick to it so it couldn't escape.
Okay. Oh, okay. Oh.
And so, they caught themselves a zebra python. But apparently the same guy got bit by a green mamba in March.
And he still has freaking a zebra? Yeah.
He had like 70 reptiles.
Oh, well. We know that he's going to get bit a few times more in his life. That we know.
Once or twice. Yeah. Apparently, there was no anti-venom here in North Carolina for a green mamba. Go figure. We don't have green mambas in except for him. They had to fly it in from like South Carolina. It's been quite the story here.
Wow, that's amazing. And I have another question for you, actually. What do you enjoy doing video?
Do I enjoy doing video? I used to not, but now I do.
What shifted? Practice? Like just doing it?
Practice, just making myself do it over and over and over again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's no secret to anything, actually, right? It's just practicing everything you don't like or you don't know until you do it several times. One, you won't really know that you like it or not.
Mm-hmm.
Or two, that you're good at it or not.
Mm-hmm.
And being good at something, you can still practice anyways.
Oh, absolutely. And a lot of people hate public speaking because they've never had to do it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it takes time, it takes patience, it takes practice. But a lot of people who do Toastmasters and do classes for public speaking find that they are actually pretty good at it with a little bit of practice. And video is just an extension of that.
Yeah. And are you into because I love that with my humor. It's just amazing. But the whole short reels, like the short videos?
I do sometimes do them on my YouTube channel. I don't do them as much in my Facebook group, but I have at times managed to do the really short, like here's a 30 to 45 second tip and I'm out. My problem, y'all will appreciate this, is that I simply run out of time to do it because I don't have enough hours in my day.
Yeah. Yeah, because you have freaking crazy days, Miss Haley Gray.
I have stirred up freaking crazy, and I'm more focused on serving my clients than producing more YouTube videos.
Yeah. And is it a goal of yours to focus on that too afterwards? Like,
I'm working on doing more with it.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been hiring a lot of people on my team so that I can do a little bit more of that and do a little bit more of the marketing and sales piece. But as you guys know, it's a process to grow your team. I've hired 5 new people since April, May.
Yeah.
And I have 2 new ones starting this month and at least 1 starting next month.
Wow. That's a big team. That's a lot of coordination.
Mm-hmm. And that's just the people I've hired. That's not the existing team.
That's
before that.
And what did you decide to put on Facebook? Like when you started your Facebook group, right? What made you decide, okay, I'm going to post that, I'm going to post that, I'm going to do that, I'm going to like...
I was all serious and MBA-like and professional. And I was, super like into putting amazing content out there. And I really have done a lot more research into what people want, what they want to see, how they want to see it, where they want to see it, how they want to engage with it. So I post things based on what's happening in my business or what's happening in people's lives, what I'm seeing happening a lot, trends, that kind of a thing. And then I have a whole massive library of content that we draw from.
Yeah, I love that because that's what you said on the interview series. You talked about your library, and I was like, I never thought about that one.
You can reuse content. It's really kind of weird.
Yeah.
You can create a graphic and use it lots of different ways.
Mm-hmm. So I'm gonna need to make a library, but then you're like, I need to make a library. You know what I mean?
Well, and the thing with making a library and making content is that you can do it and sit down and spend 3 or 4 hours and create a bunch of content. You get 1 or 2 really good templates for your social media. You create lots and lots of posts, and then you can use them. And then you can turn around and use them again and use them again and use them again. And I actually have a lot of my content in when I reuse, and then I hand fill in stuff that's unique here and there and yon. So I may put in 2 or 3 posts a day that are something unique, and frequently I do a live or 2, but then I'm also filling it in with a day of the week post, like the Instagram, or today is Friday, so it is your Facebook group. But that gets scheduled every single week, and because we use Meet Edgar, it's just automatic that it happens.
How did you, I'm asking so many questions, but how did you, when you started to blow up, because there's a moment where you just blow up, how did you handle that as yourself? Because we're all about being authentic, showing up as you, but at that moment where you're like, all those eyes on me, and reality, and we're human, so we have emotions going on. How did you handle that? Were you like, oh, I'm Queen Bee, thank you, I know that was what was meant to be? Or you're like,
a little bit in between, somewhere in between. Yeah. It was really cool, but it also led to some really weird, awkward, like interactions with people, because I would meet people on the street and they'd be like, hey, and I'm like, who are you? I don't know you. Could you just tell me who you are first?
wow.
And, so it's led to some really kind of interesting interactions with people. So I find a lot of more people know who I am than I know who they are necessarily.
Yeah.
It's good and bad. And, there's definitely been a lot of support that's come out of it, professionally and personally. So it's kind of cool. I think a lot of people assume maybe that I'm a bit different than I am, like, really. And the more people get to know me, they're like, oh, you're just like a regular person. You're just kind of doing your thing.
I am.
I'm just like a normal, everyday person. I've got 4 kids and my life is batshit crazy. And the more I share that, craziness and that, like the, just the normal day-to-day stuff of being a mom. And all the mom things. And yes, we deal with kids with grades. We deal with all kinds of fun stuff. It's life.
Yeah. And getting real, I think that's really the most important thing for people that have a following like you, is to be real. And to
really, really real.
Yeah. Because like we said, like all those coaches that say, like, in a month I went from 0 to 6 figures, and that put glitter and stars all in front of other entrepreneurs, and you're like, but then someone like you comes along and says, okay, this is freaking hard sometimes. It takes time. I went through that. I blah, blah, blah. And still today, I have to take care of my kids, and they're fighting. And I thought one was dead, and he was, you know,
Yeah, I had, one dragging the other down the hallway. Yeah.
That's really refreshing.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's really refreshing because.
But it's that real. And, talking about in my mastermind, we talk about a lot about what it takes to scale a business and all the things that need to go into scaling a business. Because you don't go 0 to 6 figures without having systems and processes in place. Yes, you can have all the marketing in place and all that fun stuff, but if you don't have a way to really catch that on the back end, it's going to blow up. And you've got to be able to handle that. Okay, so I sold 10 packages at $10,000, so suddenly I made 6 figures. Okay, so how are you servicing those $10,000 clients? What are you doing? How are you handling it? How are you meeting their expectations? What is your level of service? Because sure shit, if you're not providing the level of service that they're expecting and the interaction at the level that they're expecting, they're going to drop you.
Yeah, for sure. And that's, people want it a lot of the times. That's why you said you want it. You want to go fast. You want to go, okay, not that you want to go fast sometimes. You're like, you feel you have to go fast because it seems like everyone else is going fast. And you're like, okay, I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that. And then, yeah, exactly. It's going to implode because clients are going to leave you because you're not providing what you promised them or what they think.
Or what they thought they were going to get because your communication and your processes weren't there to be super duper clear.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I actually have a document now that goes out, the what to expect document. Here's how you reach us. Here's when you reach us. Here's our working hours. Here's what we need access to. Here's all of the things, because a lot of times, people just don't understand. And yeah, they may sign it in the contract, but they don't really read it. And I try to highlight the things that are the most important for them to know, hey, here's my working hours. Because a lot of times, once you start getting into that, 4, 5, 6, mid 6 figures, you've got clients texting you at 2 o'clock in the morning. Is that something you're going to accept or not?
You shouldn't.
Or respond to or not? Sometimes people do.
Yeah, but boundaries. That's a hard one.
It is, right? I don't work on Saturdays. Y'all, I really don't work on Saturdays unless it's an emergency.
Because when are you going to have a life?
Exactly.
I tell people, I didn't make kids to never see them. There's periods where you're going to see them less, maybe, but you're not creating and like having kids for nothing.
Yeah, or a family or whatever, and you don't live to work. And, that's kind of a thing that we see a lot in American culture, is that living to work kind of a thing. And we forget sometimes that we're working to live, that business of ours has to become, part of our lives. For me, it had to fit in between hospitalizations of my daughter and dealing with doctors and therapists and stuff.
That's freaking hard. That's even harder than just setting boundaries, because there were not even boundaries. That was a necessity. Like there was no choice. But sometimes it's even harder than setting boundaries, because you're like,
right, totally.
Yeah.
I get it.
Truly. And for you, when your clients, for themselves, they're like putting out their things, they're like coaching or whatever their business is, do you feel when you have to step in, or you don't step in and then you look where they're gonna fall, and so they fall so you can help them get back up, or
I
like
usually can see
before?
it coming, so I usually will say something.
Okay.
So if I'm working with a coaching client or a marketing client where we're doing a lot of marketing, especially, I mean, if we're just doing like a teeny tiny amount, I may not be able to see the problems coming.
Mhm.
But in the case, certainly where we have clients where we're doing SEO and ads and social media and other things, we can usually see things coming. And, you know, we try to warn people. And there's very rarely things in this business that should be a true emergency type of situation, like the client goes sideways.
Mhm.
It does happen from time to time, but it shouldn't be like a regular occurrence.
Mhm.
For me, if that's going to be a regular occurrence, it's probably going to be a client I don't keep. I have other colleagues who are very happy to help them through and deal with the reputation management disasters that come out of that, but it's not my favorite place to be.
Oh, I get it. It's really, you don't want people that just draw everything out of you.
Mm-hmm.
It's like draw the energy, but draw also the good vibes. Draw your fun.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
like, oh.
Right. No, totally.
And also sometimes clients make a big deal out of a little deal. For example, when I was a model agent and a model got sick, real people get sick sometimes the day of
Crazy.
shooting, and they went crazy, even though you can find another model that is still amazing, but they go crazy, and you're like, we're not saving the world. We're not curing cancer. It's like all the problems, take them in perspective, and it will it will give you peace of mind and balance, and it will give you a more creative way about thinking about things.
Yeah, totally. Well, and the reality, you know, with some of the stuff we do is tech is always fun. Yesterday, there was a period of time where I couldn't even load Women's Entrepreneur Network because Facebook was having a moment. And it didn't matter how many times I rebooted my computer or opened a new tab, I just couldn't see things. And, you know, tech is what tech is.
Mm-hmm.
Business is what business is. You're going to always have stuff. Part of the lesson for me in dealing with business is learning to roll with it. Or as I will jokingly say, I keep a Valium salt lick in the kitchen. Help yourself.
I love that. And yes, tech is tech. Like
Yeah.
you're a tech person.
Mm-hmm.
Most people are not.
True. Yeah. No, I am a tech geek. I'm a computer programmer with, you know, all of the attendant issues that go with that. But, you know, you have to realize that it's not perfect. It's never going to be perfect. Facebook is going to have its days. You know, social media is going to have its days. Some days your website's not going to load because of an internet glitch.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And especially what's hard with tech where the client service is really bad, like Facebook,
Mm-hmm.
that it's even more frustrating. I have an issue with Facebook, and the response I got today is, oh, we cannot answer you anymore. What? Your Facebook, if you don't want to answer me anymore, who's gonna answer me?
Right. They don't want to.
No, we cannot do anything for you anymore. What? How is that possible? That's freaking crazy because tech is already hard. But when the provider is making your life even harder, you're like,
Yep. And that's why you have backup plans and you have backup platforms and you do stuff, right? And this is doing business in the 21st century.
Yeah.
Don't put all your eggs in one basket. Don't rely on just one platform.
Mm-hmm. What other platform do you like?
I use Twitter a lot, Pinterest, LinkedIn, and Instagram.
Okay.
And I'm also working on YouTube. So I'm working on a lot of different platforms right now. But I started off mostly with LinkedIn and Twitter.
Okay. Twitter in Europe, it's only the politicians and the journalists that use it. Nobody else, almost.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. It's like
Well,
the normal people don't use Twitter
don't
at
use
all.
Twitter. Interesting. Yeah. No, here we use Twitter quite a bit, and then Pinterest is a really great way to drive traffic to websites.
Yeah, but it's also a lot of work.
It can be. It doesn't have to be. Automation is a beautiful thing.
True. What do you use for automation? Did you say?
I use a lot of Zapier and Tailwind, and I use Meet Edgar. So I have different types of automation in different places.
Yeah, you're freaking crazy, Haley.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'll wear that.
But you know what? That's why you do marketing and I do confidence and image. That's two very separate things, but that can come together so well. That's what I love.
I love it so much. Yeah.
Yeah. And like I said before we started, and I wanted to tell everyone that I really think you're an inspiring person. I wanted to tell it live and not only in private. That you're really an inspiring person professionally, personally. I couldn't find the word personally, but also as a human. You know.
Yeah.
So I wanted to tell everyone.
Well, thank you.
Part.
Let's talk about the Unlock Your Visibility interview series.
I am so excited. I'm really, really excited. Yesterday, I had a down day, you know, when you're organizing a thing, you know, it's like yesterday was a bad day. So I wanted to share it because all of us are going to have bad days in here. Mm-hmm. Yesterday, I had a really bad day. I was like, why am I doing this? And blah, blah, blah. And I cannot take it anymore. And, you know, that type of thing. But then today I woke up extremely grateful, extremely blessed. And when you shift your mind again, sometimes let your down day be a down day because you need it. Yeah. And then get back up the next day. And so because it's organizing an interview series, it's for 21 days. That means 21 speakers. That means finding all the amazing speakers, because you don't want anyone on there, neither. And you're one of them. You accepted, and I'm so excited. And it's all about being visible online with the pandemic, with the world that has changed. Anyways, if you hear screaming, that's my kids.
Awesome. Mine are not currently screaming.
I hear screaming. And so with the world changing, I really, 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 really wanted female entrepreneurs to be okay with showing their face, to letting people know what they do, because we're always like, no, I'm bragging. Oh no, people can think I'm a bragging freaking bitch. And no, I'm a kind person. I'm a people pleaser, blah, blah, blah. And so I wanted women to see other amazing women. I have one man because it's also human-centered, heart-centered. And to see that it's possible to be a freaking badass entrepreneur, a freaking badass female entrepreneur, and still be kind, still be human, still have a big heart, and still know your shit. Mm-hmm. And that's why I really wanted to give value to women, even men. I'm saying women because it's harder.
That's most of the audience.
Yeah. It's just harder for our personalities as women to go be, yeah, look at me, you know?
Yeah, totally.
And so that's why I pushed through, even though some days were like, oh, Jessie, why are you making it so hard on yourself? Mm-hmm. But then you remember why you're doing it.
Yep, totally. Thank you so much for joining me.
Oh, thank you. You are the best.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I'm glad to have you here, and thank you for your kind words.
Oh, they come from the heart, so know it.
Oh, thank you. Y'all sign up. The link is in the comments, in the chats, above, below, sideways.
Yeah.
Got it. Thanks.